Hello guys, and welcome back to Sewing with Damara. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew a back bodice together with the yoke without having to cut out the yoke separately to attach it later. If you'd love to learn how to go about this, keep on watching to the end of this tutorial. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and also turn on your post notifications for more tutorials like this. Now let's dive right into this. So here I already have my fabric on fold, and to know how many inches to cut your fabric and put it on fold, all you need to do is to divide your bust measurement by 4 and add your zipper allowance, which is about 2 inches, and add extra 3 inches just so you don't run short. Okay, so whatever you get, you multiply that by 2, cut your fabric and put it on fold. Now the first thing we are going to do is to draft a back basic bodice. And to do this, what I'm going to do first is to come in from this center by 2 inches, and this 2 inches is going to be my zipper allowance. I'll just be connecting it with a straight line like I'm doing here. Now after doing that, come down from the top of your fabric by about 0.5 inch and rule a starting line across, and this starting line is also going to serve as your shoulder line. Now we'll be taking all our measurements from this point here, okay, because this other side is the zipper. The first thing you're going to mark is going to be your neck width. You'll be using 3 inches for the neck width, and the neck depth you can use 1.5 inch. Now go ahead and connect this with a curve like this. Also on this shoulder line, mark half of your shoulder measurement. For me it is 8.5. Come down from the point you marked by 1 inch to get your shoulder slope. Now connect this into the neckline. The next point you are going to mark is going to be your chest line measurement, and if you already follow me on here, you know that the chest line is to divide your bust by 6 and add 1.5 to whatever you get. So after doing mine, I have 7.5. Make sure you are marking the chest line from the shoulder slope. Now connect this with a straight line. This right here is going to be your chest line. Now on this chest line, you also be marking half of your shoulder measurement. The reason why we are doing this is to get a straight line to the shoulder slope, just like I'm doing here. Now divide what you have from the shoulder slope to the chest line by 2. Just place your tape there and fold it into 2. Mark the midpoint, coming from that point by 0.5 inch. On the chest line now, you are going to divide your bust measurement by 4, and you are going to mark what you get on the chest line. Now I will be connecting all these points together to get my armhole curve. So go ahead and do the same thing. After getting our armhole curve, we'll go ahead and mark out the other measurements we'll be needing on the back bodice. Placing your tape there as the starting line, what you're going to mark down now is the shoulder to the waistline. Now I need you to note that the shoulder to waist in front is different from that of the back, and you know this tutorial I'm focusing just on the back piece, okay? So whatever measurement you have from your shoulder to waist in front, you'll be taking out 1.5 from that, and that is what you'll be marking on your back. Now this right here is going to be our waistline. Now before I go ahead and mark other measurements, I'm just going to bring in my front piece, and I'm going to take the measurements of what I have from the waist to the side here, and what I have here is 4 inches. Now I'll also be taking what I have at this center pass to know how long my back is. From the waist to this length, I have about 10 inches. So from the waist, I'm going to mark down 4 inches just like we have in front, just like I have in front, and I'll connect with a straight line. And then from the waist, I'll also mark how long I want my back's length to be, and I'll be marking this as 8 inches because I don't want it to be as long at the back. Go ahead and mark half of your nipple to nipple measurement on the chest line and on the length. Then you'll be connecting this together with a straight line. Go out on both sides of your waistline by 0.5 inch. You'll be connecting this to the chest line and also connect this back into the length of your blouse. Now you're going to proceed to take out your round body measurements. Now on the chest line here, you remember you already marked quarter of your bust measurement, right? So you just go ahead and add your stitching allowance. I'll be using 1.5 inch. On the waistline, mark quarter of your waist measurement. Mine is 7.5 inch. Then you're going to take the measurement of what you have in between your darts here. So for me, I have 1 inch, and then add your stitching allowance. You will not be marking anything on this line. Coming to the length, you're going to mark quarter of your hip measurement, and then you're going to add your stitching allowance. I'm going to go ahead to connect these points like this. Now when you get to this point, you are going to place your tape like you want to connect it from the waist into the length there, but while connecting it, you are going to stop at this point here. Now from here, you are going to connect a box effect into the center just like this. After doing that, make sure to extend your waistline into the zipper allowance and also extend the chest line into the zipper allowance. Now coming to this neckline, come down from this neck depth here by 1.5 inch. Now from this point, you'll be drawing a curve into the chest line to get your keyhole design. You can decide if you want this to be open or if you want this to be narrower, depending on what is comfortable for you. So from the waistline, come in by 0.5 inch. And after the zipper, you go in by 0.5 inch. And you'll be connecting from this point here into the chest line and also down to the length. Here also into the chest line and down to the length. So after connecting that, I already went ahead to start cutting it. I didn't know my camera wasn't recording. Please pardon me. But yeah, you can see how I already went ahead to start cutting this out. Go ahead and do the same thing to yours. So after cutting this out, you can see how this came out. Make sure that you cut yours the same way. Make sure to also cut out a lining for each of your back piece. Now what you're going to do is to trace out your darts on each of these pieces. This is going to make it easier for you to stitch down. You can see here that I've traced out my darts on each of these pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch them down now. After stitching it down, you can see what it looks like. Now place your lining on the right sides of your fabric. What you'll be doing here is to stitch it down starting from the neckline all the way into the side here and then into the zipper side. I'm going to repeat this again. Stitch this down starting from the neckline all the way into the side and then into the zipper allowance. I'll also be inserting something for the button, that is to hold the button. I have this little elastic here which is about 2 inches, and what I'm going to do is to fold this way and make sure the folded point is inside. So what you're going to do is to put it in between while you're stitching this down. After stitching it down, this is what we have. Make sure to trim off the excess of what you have from your stitch, and also watch where I'll be making notches so I can turn this out beautifully. Now after doing that, make sure you give this a good press. So you can see here that I'm done with that. You can see that the lining and the fabric are not together. So to just secure it in place, you can go ahead and make a stitch at this side here. And also for the zipper, I'm going to be marking out my zipper allowance. But I won't be inserting my zipper now because I need to attach this to the front piece first, and then we'll take care of the zipper much later. So this is my front piece here. I'll be joining the back and the front at the shoulders. So just watch how I'm doing this. Open it up this way and then pin this down like I'm doing here. You'll be stitching this down using 0.5 inch stitching allowance, okay? And after stitching it down, all your stitches will be reading inside, and then this is what you're going to have. After stitching this down at the shoulders, the next thing you're going to do here is to attach your sleeve. You can go ahead and use any sleeve of your choice, okay? But for me, I'll be using this funnel shaped sleeve without having to cut out a flare. I have the tutorial already up on my channel, and I'll be putting the link in the description box for those of you that would like to check that out. So make sure to make a notch at the midpoint of your sleeves. Now I'm going to place my sleeves on right sides facing my fabric, and I'm going to pin this down all the way around. I'll be stitching this down using 0.5 inch stitching allowance. I'm done stitching down my sleeves, and the next step now is going to be to take out our accurate body measurement and stitch this down. So around the chest line, what I have here is 21 inches, and my actual bust divided by 2 is 19. So I'll be taking out 1 inch on both sides. Around the waist, what I have here is 19 inches. I have an excess of 1.5 inch. So I'm going to mark that and connect to the bust point. Then down here, I have an excess of 2 inches. So I'll be marking 1 inch on both sides. Now you'll be stitching this down starting from the sleeve all the way into these lines that you drew here. After doing that, you can see how this turned out. This is what yours should look like. Now the next thing we are going to do here before inserting the zipper is to finish the lower part of this blouse. And to do that, I've already gone ahead to cut out this bias. And this bias, you can see that I've ironed my interfacing. It is 2 inches long. And what I did was to fold it in the opposite direction on both sides. Give it a good press and further fold it into 2 again. Make sure you give this a really good press so it will make it easy for you while stitching it down. So to stitch it down, make sure you fold in the edge. Place your blouse in the middle of the bias and then you will just be stitching it down. And after you finish doing this, just go ahead and insert your zipper using the line that you drew out earlier on. And yeah, that's all for this tutorial. We have come to the end of this tutorial. I hope this tutorial was really helpful. Please do let me know in the comment section, and also if you have any questions, you can leave it there in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next one.